Peterman here. I have had this vision. Oh, what a stirring little anthem of wellness.
Him as Jay Peterman on Seinfeld, and as the rematch winner of the first season of ABC's Dancing with the Stars in 2005. Now actor John O'Hurley is stepping up in the effort to shed light on high cholesterol and ways to effectively manage the condition. And he joins us live this morning from New York City with more, along with Dr. Elliot Brinton, the spokesman for the National Lipid Association. Good morning, gentlemen.
How great to be with you.
Good morning.
Good
Aloha.
morning, and aloha. John, why don't I start off with you? I have to ask you about Seinfeld. Such a wonderful show. So many Americans fell in love with the show and still quote it today. What is it like to be a part of this iconic television show?
You know, I was lucky enough to play with the championship team in that championship season, and there isn't a moment that I don't go back and pinch myself and realize that had I not been there, I would have disappeared somewhere in a cultural vacuum.
Oh, man. Well, speaking of champion, you are the rematch champion from 2005 on Dancing with the Stars.
Mm-hmm.
When you look back and look at the show today, did you ever think it would make it this far?
I had an idea that it was going to be a success when I originally saw the tapes in Britain of Strictly Come Dancing, as it was called over there. I knew this was going to be a good show. I was just lucky enough to be on in the first season. I've been lucky enough to be on some very good shows, and I'm very grateful for it.
And what are you doing today in terms of your acting career?
Well, today I have a couple of movies I've got coming up, and then I have the musical Chicago, which I'm on Broadway with, and then I'm on national tour with. So that's kind of the show that I keep in my back pocket on my tuxedo dressed as Billy Flynn.
Oh, love it. I bet you're so dashing in that. Let's talk about your efforts to manage cholesterol. How did you get involved, and why did you decide to jump onto the message there?
Well, it's a personal position I'm taking. I'm one of the 71 million people in America that are diagnosed with high cholesterol, so I understand what's going on. It's a very, very important thing because heart disease, of course, the #1 killer of Americans, and 20 million people are taking statin use in America, or statins right now, the drug that's been so effective in controlling high cholesterol. And a survey was done, and this is what we're talking about today, a very, very important one. It was called Usage, which means understanding statin use in America and the gaps in education, two very important concepts. And this survey was done with 10,000 statin users to reveal some of their feelings. It was done from their perspective on what their attitudes and behaviors were about taking their statins and continuing statin treatment. And it revealed that a lot of people aren't continuing their statin usage, and their doctors don't know about it, and that's been a problem, because the drugs, as wonderful as they are, don't work if you don't take them. And there are many reasons that they found out through the survey as to why people have stopped taking their medications.
And so, Dr. Brinton, what's one of the reasons that people are not taking these drugs, and what should people do?
Well, the #1 reason in our survey, and I think this is probably true across the board, was muscle symptoms. And this could either be weakness or it could be pain. And it tends to be most common in the legs, but it could be in the arms or elsewhere. And that's a problem. This is something that can happen with statins. There are ways around it. But we found that in many cases, the patients who had stopped taking the statins for that symptom or for some other reason had not told their doctor. And if the doctor doesn't know that the patient has run into a problem and has stopped taking the statin, then the doctor, by definition, can't do anything about it. So we're inviting patients to keep their doctor in the loop because if there is a problem, the doctor needs to know, and then the two need to work together, patient and doctor together. We found that 80% of our patients had actually were taking one or more drugs that could interfere with the statin metabolism, on average 3, and these are not just prescription drugs, they're over-the-counter or dietary supplements. And then we found that those patients who could remember their initial cholesterol level and then who knew their goal did much better in continuing to take the statin and doing the problem solving necessary to make sure that they were continuing this and successful going forward. So we really need better communication between doctor and patient. It's doing okay, but we can do better. We need to do better. This is our #1 cause of death and disability. Statins are our #1 preventive mode for helping to reduce that risk of heart attack and stroke.
Well, Dr. Brinton, certainly important to have a great communication with your doctor. John, really quickly, I wanted to ask you, because time is running out, are you going to go back onto ABC's Dancing with the Stars?
They have the championship season coming up this fall. They haven't revealed the cast yet, and all I know is that I'm on the short list.
Oh, okay. Well, we hope to see you again, John O'Hurley and Dr. Brittany.
Mahia, could I just quickly say we've got a website here, statinusage.com. Statinusage.com. We want the patients and the doctors to go to this, learn about cholesterol, open up the dialogue. Let's be more successful with statin use to prevent heart attack and stroke.
All right, very important message, Dr. Britton and John O'Hurley. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. And to see this interview again, you can head to the top video section of our website, KITV.com. We'll be right back.